Ja nüüd mul on suurepärane võimalus tutvustada teile meie külalisi. And I will switch into suomi. Tervetuloa. Yeah, and the host and moderator for this panel about generative AI in editorial media will be our professor Ulrike Rohn. Floor and screens are yours.
Yeah, thank you, Andres. Yeah, hello. Mina olen Ulrike Rohn, meediajuhtimise ja meediamajanduse professor siin BFM-is. Ja kui Andres ütles juba, see järgmine osa on inglise keeles, sest meil on külalised Soomest täna. So, how did this panel about generative AI in the media come together? Päivi Maijanen, she's the first here. See, Päivi Maijanen is from... I'm just talking about you first. So I'm just introducing the speaker. So Päivi Maijanen is from Lund University in Lappeenranta. And Päivi and I have been knowing each other for many, many years. We worked together at the European Media Management Association, and we also had research projects together. We are both very interested in media industries, how they're changing, and what this means for decision-making in media organizations, specifically managerial decision-making. And Päivi also had a project on AI in the media, and that was funded by the Media Industries Foundation in Finland. And this project was very special, not just because it has a very hot topic, but also it was a collaboration with media organizations. And this is why I'm very happy that we also have representatives from these media organizations who were part of this research project here. And I think in general we can say that this research project, as Päivi and the others have told me, is a very good example for research project between, or collaboration between university and industry media companies. So this is why I'm really happy that we also have from Finland two representatives from the media organization who were part of this project. We have Kirsi Hakaniemi from the Keskisuomalainen, where she is the head of research and development unit. And we have Sederholm from A-lehdet, where she is a content manager. And I was also told she has been awarded to be the media boss in Finland of the year at some point. So, and as I understand, their collaboration has been working very well also with this project on AI and media, or an AI and editorial media. And they now actually also embarked on another joint project on AI and media archives. And this is also very interesting to us here at Tallinn University because we're also working on this topic. So, but today, now we will speaking about generative AI in the editorial media, and I invite Päivi first to come here. Now you can come here, Päivi. Okay.
How do I change the slide? Here too. Okay. Do I hear now? All right. Hello, and congratulations to BFM for the 20 years you've been existing and doing well, okay? It's nice to be here. And like Ulrike introduced, we are doing this generative AI research at the moment. But I made a short review yesterday, and I Googled what kind of things we are working on in Finland. And there are many things going on, but really this generative AI is one of the hot topic. There are many, many diverse projects, smaller and bigger. And thanks to all the foundations we have. We have two foundations, this Media Industry Research Foundation and Helsingin Sanomat Foundation, which is the biggest newspaper. And these foundations keep the conversation going on. And they kind of require and push us, universities, to collaborate and make impact. So you always have to have a collaborator and show that you are doing impact. So this is the driver. And as I said, we have many projects on generative AI from different angles. And we were lucky to have also one at my university in the business school. It was funded, for the last year, the whole year, we were together with Eeva and Kirsi, and it was to study how generative AI reshapes media organizations and their organizational practices. There was journalistic work, but we went on different levels, like organizational journalistic work, the individuals, and the practices in the organization, and towards management and strategy. And also, there was in the call, it was highlighted that we have to promote industry dialogue, that we have more than one company in this project. So we managed to have 4, in addition to A-lehdet, A magazines that Eeva represents here, and Kirsi, Keskisuomalainen, the biggest regional newspaper. We had Sanoma and especially Helsingin Sanomat, the biggest newspaper, and the Finnish broadcasting company. So very different media companies. And what I think after this year together, I'm really happy that we have this possibility to face this uncertainty and the unknown together. It gives such a strength to understand, to try to understand things, because nobody knows what's going on. And to figure it out, this collaboration gives you the depth for us in the academia. We can see a little bit with the eyes of media companies what's going on, and looking into them and talk with individuals, how they're feeling and how they're coping and what kind of challenges they have. So we don't need to guess things. And also I hope we can give something to media companies, what we are doing other research in other industries, for example on AI, or we have other kind of organizational specific knowledge that we can bring. So what we did together, we planned the project together. Yeah, shifting emails, is that okay? What is your point? What you want? And then we had workshops during the year, 3 workshops on these different levels that we had these sub-questions on journalistic work. How does it look like there? What kind of tool it is? What is the role of this? What kind of things you are using, developing, organizing and managing, how to lead the change. That is also a challenge. When you have change, it's leadership, management all the time. It's a big challenge. And how to build the strategy and how to build it into the strategy and the organization, and to build an organizational capability that brings you kind of added value. We had all these levels. And in these workshops, we shared, we contributed with what we interviewed, and also from outside, also outside Finland, and brought our insights, what we could as researchers. And you told what you've been doing, how you reflect, what are the success stories, and what didn't work, and what the fears, and it was really rewarding. So what my takeaway from this is, because I cannot go into details, is that it really shows with this kind of collaboration, you learn to see that this kind of challenge like generative AI is challenging and is giving a lot, but it also challenges. It has many faces and is reflecting. It's all over the organization. It's from the individuals who are thinking, journalists, what is my identity here as a profession? What does it do to me? What are the ethical issues here? What are the opportunities? And then how to go to what to do on the organizational level, how to build it in the organization, that it's our thing, that we make money with it too. So now we are continuing with Sanoma this year. We are more looking to the strategy and this tailored solution for added value inside the organization. Let's see what comes with that and how we can continue later and what the future brings, all in all. Thank you.
So, hi all. My name is Kirsi Hakaniemi and I come from Keskisuomalainen group. Just a short introduction from me. So I've worked over 20 years actually in the same company, and just an anecdote that 10 years ago I was a journalist fellow in Oxford Reuters Institute for the Study of Journalism, which was funded by the Helsingin Sanomat Foundation. And now I'm leading the digital transformation in our company. Media Group Keskisuomalainen is the biggest local media company in Finland. We own 77 regional and smaller local media titles around Finland, and we have been growing through acquisitions during the over 10 years now. And here are some figures of last year. Our company's mission is to defend the local democracy and serve the local communities and businesses. The news media is, of course, our biggest business operation, but then we have a growing digital out-of-home network around Finland, and we have a distribution for free sheets, newspapers, and also units of communication and research services. But the digital transformation of local media is our biggest challenge and strategy. And of course, utilizing AI is in our company's strategic goal. Our digital news media reaches weekly 1.6 million Finnish people, and digital-only subscribers at the end of last year was around 116,000. And we are still growing. The yearly growth is over 20% of our digital-only subscriptions. And I lead our digital unit, which is developing our digital services for the editorial department, for the subscription sales, and also to the B2B sales. So all to do with the digital transformation and processes in media business. So I will tell you a bit how we have been working with generative AI, how we started, and a couple of cases, and I will comment a bit also the Lappeenranta Technical University project where we attended last autumn. But how we started 2 years ago, how we set everything up as we are a Microsoft house. Using Microsoft tools, we of course started to use these platforms. And at the beginning, we put Azure OpenAI available for the interested ones, and we formed a piloting group from the editorial department which started to play around with the AI and finding useful cases for the editorial department. And of course, we are also using Copilot licenses in other parts of the company, for example, in the financial department and marketing and sales department. And also at the start, we named an AI product owner and coordinator for the different projects. Then we have built some journalistic assistants. We have an more easier to use chat AI for the editorial department, and we have also article AI to shorten the text and to create different title ideas for titles, news story titles. Then we have this kind of article assistant for giving feedback and looking in different corners on the article, how to make it better. And we have also a clear language AI, because we are publishing a clear language Selkomedia clear language website in our southern part of Finland. Or of course it's a site you can access from wherever, but it's in our southern part unit created there. And then we of course had joint idea workshops with different functions from our company, and also we built a common joint roadmap to prioritize the different AI projects, because there are a lot of ideas and where to start, which will bring the most value to the business processes. Then a year ago, we got funding from Google. We were participated at a design sprint workshop in Stockholm, where we started to refine our ideas, and we started to crystallize the archive concept, which I will tell more about a bit further. And we participated in the university research project, where we got to spar our ideas and talk about theory and practice. And of course, we created also the editorial guidelines at the beginning, and we have also done radio AI news, and then we did an application for the Media Industry Research Foundation to get funding for our archive concept. And we got it, and now it's going on during this spring. And of course, there is a really great Nordic AI journalism community where we are in and partnering and benchmarking. So these were the first steps to us. Here you can see small text, just the editorial guidelines to all the editorial departments, how to use and play and test and do what to do with the generative AI. And plans for this year, of course, we will continue educating, and we have moved to the editorial department, also to the sales and marketing, finance sector, and of course IT department is in. We have got a lot of funding from Microsoft. Of course, you have to think that it's also marketing money for Microsoft, so you have to think that money like that. But of course, we are taking all the money and funding in which we can. And of course, executive training is important. And now we are developing, we got the money from the Media Industry Research Foundation, so we are developing the text archive tool, and then we are organizing now a multifunctional coordination team, because we don't have, at least for now, we don't yet have an AI lead in our company, which would have full-time 100% work time for AI. So we have this kind of multifunctional team where the business and tech are together. And then we are developing also other stuff for the customer service, and also with voice and summaries. And following the regulations and ethics, it's also important, and you have to do that all the time. So in practice, here is the case of our AI radio news. We have 4 radio channels in our company, and last May we started piloting with 2 voices, Aino and Eino, female and male voice in our radio channels, and in radio Keskisuomalainen there was a trial period during last May, and then we collected the feedback from our listeners and decided to start in full. Now we have in 3 local radio channels, we have the daily radio news with AI from 1 to 6. And of course it frees the resources from the editorial department, because they just write the text, but they don't go to the radio studio to read the news. And it was totally developed with in-house resources using Microsoft tools. And it was also the first visible project to the customers. And then the other case is our Gen AI assisted archive project, which is going on, and it's a joint project with A-lehdet, where Eeva comes from. And actually we had got the idea from the LUT University research project that we could do this together with A-lehdet, and actually the Finnish Media Industry Research Foundation, they also wanted that we cooperate with inside the media industry. So it's also really interesting to find out how the cooperation goes and what are the pros and cons. So we are also, at the same time, we are of course researching how AI is like affecting the media work and management. But at the same time, we are developing a minimum viable product version of this article database for the both media houses. Keskisuomalainen is leading the project, and A-lehdet is there with us. And each media will have access to their own article database with their own material, but we are building the tools, the AI tools, to the front to be the same. And here you can see some drafts of the user interface, which we are now building. The project will end in summer, so the editorial department will get a search tool where they can search from the archive, and the Gen AI will create, for example, summaries from the topic, what have we been writing earlier or during the history from this topic. And here is the list of the written articles and links to the articles. And for example, you can search what did we write last February or the previous years, should we revisit the same topics? And also the previous researches are saved there, and then linked to the original news. But like we see that there are many possibilities in this tool, and it's really interesting when we start testing it in our editorial department, that how will the journalists use it and what will be the benefits on this. Just to conclude how to start using Gen AI, or what have we been doing as a bit smaller company, and how we have organized it. Of course, you have to first create the Gen AI rules for the transparency to the readers. It's really important that we maintain the journalistic credibility and are transparent to our readers and customers about how we are using Gen AI. And then it's really good that you have these kind of cross-functional workshops at the beginning, of course, going on where you create ideas and look on the roadmap, create your common roadmap, joint roadmap. Of course, you have to monitor all the time the features, AI features, which are coming to the industry and to the market and to the tools we use. Should we do our own development work? Should we wait to our partners to do new stuff, or should we outsource the work? Of course, you have to combine perhaps all of these. But the genuine value comes at that point when the generative AI features are implemented and integrated to the existing workflow. So, for example, in my company, we have a big project coming where we are renewing all our publishing systems. And I think now it's a really good time to do this, because there are already many good Gen AI tools in the new publishing and modern publishing systems. So I'm really, that's why we have to think what to do by ourselves and what to wait. And of course, you have to upskill your employees a lot, experiment, and encourage people to experiment how to use Gen AI in the process. And of course, we have to be aware that the business is also changing when we will have the Gen AI-based search services for the consumers and readers. The sources of traffic with our news sites will change, and it's a big thing also our industry. How does it look? What will be the future, and how we stay in the game with Gen AI, and also what comes to the copyrights also. I was also asked to tell a few words about the cooperation with LUT University, and Päivi already told a lot about the project, but I liked it. Was really, I would say, for the first time, a project with the university. It was really practical, like really good project, really practical with the workshops. We got to network with other media companies. We got peer support, so shared discussions, but also the theory side. It's really good to hear the higher level stuff from point to point and bring the practice that we are like close in a close dialogue. So I think it was a really fruitful project in all. Thank you.
Thank you, Kirsi.
Voiko se neuvoa, miten sitä käy?
Next.
Okay. No. There are some slides missing, but I can manage. Hi, nice to be here. My name is Eeva Sederholm, and I come from A-lehdet, A-media, and I come from the happiest country in the world. But I have never been in this university, and it's very nice that Ulrike asked me to come here. It's always interesting to learn from other people. I have been working in media industry for 20 years, around. I'm around the same age as Kirsi, so we have been around for a while. For A-lehdet, I have been working for almost 3 years, and before I was editor-in-chief in a regional newspaper in Lappeenranta, where we got to know with Kirsi and with Päivi, and we did a research project together then, and that's how we knew each other, and this was the starting point of this project, which we did last year. But this is what you need to know about A-lehdet. We are a middle-sized or small media company in Finland, much smaller than Keskisuomalainen. We publish around 20 a branch, and they are all magazines. We don't do any news business. It's a family-owned business, and of course, the company does other things than publish magazines. It, for example, sells Finnish design and stuff like that. The story of A-lehdet started in 1930s in Helsinki. A magazine called Apu was founded then. And it has a unique history because Apu means help in Finnish. I don't know what's help in Estonian. Is it something like Apu? No? Api. Okay. So if you would publish Apu in Estonia, it would be Api. But the magazine was published in order to give people who are unemployed possibility to sell the magazine on the streets and gain some extra revenue for that. So it has a meaning in it, and we have been this warm-hearted media company for over than 90 years now. We have 3 departments in our media business, and I work for current topics, which still publishes Apu magazine and other brands. Then we have women's media, like it says, it publishes magazines which are targeted to women. And thirdly, we have living and lifestyle department. Well, you know what it means. Magazines which which deal with topics like living and lifestyle. The most interesting project we have going on with AI is this, and it's like they are doing it in living and lifestyle department, so I'm not like deeply in this, but I wanted to tell you about this because it's very interesting. We have a digital brand called Meillä kotona. It means at home in Finnish, and it's in Finnish and it's focused on home and lifestyle journalism. You can search it from Google if you want. But they had an idea of going to international markets for a long time, and they had even searched for the audiences and did some research earlier. But the translation project was considered to be too expensive, so it was never realized before. Then two things changed the situation. First of all came the AI. Everyone started talking about language models, and they started learning to translate articles quite well. And then second thing was that Kotona applied for funding, so they could experiment this with a grant, and they created a collaboration project with University of Helsinki. They have a language department there, so they were real experts. And the goal of the project was to make Nordic lifestyle great again. This is how it's done in practice, the translation project. This is the original article in Finnish. And then when you want to translate it, when the journalist or producer wants to translate it, she or he can press the button which says translate. And then here you see the rough translation. It's the first version it makes. This is all done in our publication system. Then you have the rough translation, and you can press the button which says edit. And then the prompt is done so that it fine-tunes the text and edits it even better. And it's not the end of it. You still have a translator who reads the article before it is published, and still fine-tunes it and make sure that it's not written for a Finnish reader. It's made for international audience. The outcomes so far have been really good. The translation quality is good. Even better than expected. It doesn't make real mistakes. It doesn't hallucinate. But still, however, you have to have the human review and fine-tuning before you publish the article. And the human makes sure that the quality is good enough and it's good journalism and that sort of things. The process has not been as fast as expected. A couple of weeks ago, they told me that they have about 500 articles translated at the moment, when they expected that they would have thousands of it already. So it's much slower than expected. But 500 is still a lot. If you have to be really interested in this topic if you want to read all the articles from there. The happiest outcome of this is that it created a new job. A-lehdet has now a producer who is responsible of this product, and she started a couple of weeks ago, and it's sort of, it gives journalists hope that AI doesn't just take our jobs, it also makes them. Surprisingly enough, this digital product also, we also got a spin-off of it, and we have a new print product, which is called Nordic Homes. And this is an experiment. I don't know if it's going to be permanent, but I'm quite proud to work in a company where they publish print products which are sold in the US, the UK, Japan, Canada, and so on. So this was, I would say, surprising in these digital ages. Then, of course, we are doing other things with AI, similar things that Kirsi talked about, and I suppose these are very usual things, and because Estonia is really sort of technical country, I suppose you are doing lots of this stuff already, so maybe there is nothing new to you. But at the moment, we are experimenting a search engine optimization tool for articles. It's a job which, it's not a job of a journalist to make an article which is going to get lots of hits in Google or other search engines. So we think this is a good tool for us. We don't have to do the job anymore. Then we have partial automation of social media, and of course we are exploring AI voice technology also. And this archive project with Keskisuomalainen, which was very concrete outcome of the collaboration project with university. And then individual journalists are, of course, using various tools to analyze or gather information. If they find the tools useful, we are not, at the moment, at least we are not forcing anyone to use these tools. There is a huge variety of journalists. The learning, last year we discussed lots and lots about AI. It was like a huge topic within journalism. And the learning is not, it's not anything unique, but still needs to be said. The learning is that it's essential to embrace innovation within journalism if we want to stay relevant. But at the moment, of course, the ethics and like the journalism, the facts itself, themselves are in the core of everything. Then last slide. This cooperation. I heard that you are actually doing a lot cooperation with companies, so I don't know if I need to say these things, but for A-lehdet, this research project which we did was like we did. It wasn't. We didn't agree straight away that we would do this. And if I could decide, maybe we would have, but I needed to ask my boss, and she needed to ask my boss. So it's not evident that these things get a good start. And if you want to start this kind of thing, these are my tips for researchers and media companies. The researchers need really to have real motivations to help journalism and the companies who are doing journalism. They really need to do it also for the companies, not just for the university. And since I knew Päivi for a long time, I knew she would have it, and the other researchers as well, and Lund University is known for that. So you need to convince media companies that you really want to help them. And they wanted to us to get something out of it, so they were open to our suggestions about the workshops and other applications. Then you need to have low demands for the media houses. We only invested our time, which is a valuable resource. Of course, it's a huge thing, but it was the only thing we needed to invest. So it was easy for us to do this. And what we got out of it? Well, as Kirsi already said, it sparked discussions within journalism, within media industry. We are not very good in that in Finland, because media houses compete with each other, and we are not a nation who is known for discussions. Compared, for example, to Sweden, they are like, I think AI discussion was it was way ahead of us last year. But we are a small company, and we have really small R&D team. Actually, Kirsi always says that they have a small team, but they have 29 people, and we have this guy called Antti who is doing all the development. So we are all a tiny little house. So it's really useful for us to hear what, for example, Keskisuomalainen, YLE, or Helsingin Sanomat are doing. Even though the outcome would be like they have the same problems as we do. But it's still important and good. And the concrete outcome, as already said many times, is this real cooperation project with Keskisuomalainen. And no matter to what company or to what industry you work for, you always get refreshing thoughts when you go outside your own company and own organization. And it's a big value. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Eva, and all the other speakers. Do we have any questions? Questions from the audience? Yeah, Scott. Okay.
In English, yeah. I'm not an expert in this. I only know that it has been published, but I know it's in English. So.
Why did you make the decision not to use the local language?
Actually, I'm sorry, I can't answer that. I haven't been on those tables. Sorry.
Any other question? Yeah, Anna. Also without them, you all have loud voices, yeah?
I got it.
That's a good question. So, what skills should future media managers have? What critical skills?
Well, I would say that open mind. You need to be very flexible and ready to learn new things. Like this AI thing, 10 years ago, who would have known that it will be a big part of our job?
Yeah. Everything changes a lot, so it's really hard to say one skill that you have to have. You have to have the attitude to learn. And of course, there is a lot of new technology coming, so you have to be smooth in testing and taking new technology in use.
Yeah,
and for example, doing video, doing sound, doing all this stuff. But of course, everybody can't do everything. But
And if you're asking about media managers, I would say very essential skill is how to motivate people and inspire people, because you all the time you have to lead some change. So people have to feel like they get something out of it.
Yeah, this leadership is really important. That's what I've noticed too. And then that one person cannot understand everything, so you have to have good people around you and be able to delegate, I think. And the role of like middle managers and that you bring the knowledge from the organization. It's not only you, but you're able to kind of collect those insights also outside and inside.
Yeah, and I would say also the business side.
Yes.
In the editorial department, you have to understand the media business and why the change is so crucial, and why do we have to do these why do we have to use these different channels, and why do we have to have these different formats? Because the business is changing. But of course, you don't have to do it by yourselves. So we work more and more in multi-functional teams where the business, tech, and the journalists, marketing are at the same table, thinking through. And it's still a big cultural shift we have to work on. For example, in my company, the subscription sales, there is a lot of good thinking and good brand, like renewing our brands. But many times the journalists are there saying that we can't do this and that you have to do a lot of work on persuading and lobbying. Yeah. And yes, we are starting to use these new tools for branding and segmenting our customers and what kind of content we will bring to the younger ones. So,
Yes, we have 2 questions coming.
I wanted to ask about the copyright, because this is one of the biggest real issues. You mentioned it's not about the authors, but also the organizations, everybody who has committed in. So have you came out with something or just discussing?
Of course, we have prohibited that we don't give any access to the AI robots to our content before we have negotiated of the copyright rights and compensations. But it's a bigger issue, like Finland and also Estonia. We are so small countries, so we have to in the EU level, we have to cooperate and find ways to deal with the big players. But for now, we are not giving our content to these education purposes for the AI companies. But let's see what happens in the future.
Hello. I think it's a follow-up of this one, because if you are concerned about copyright, are you concerned how much you run in-house infrastructure and how much you run outside infrastructure, and if you're looking where is located this infrastructure? Because if you are using, for example, Azure, and you are running in America, they can use all the calls that you use for training data. Means they will not take it as a robot from the internet, but they will take from any of the calls that you do the translation, that you do the summarizing, that you do everything, they will get it and they will put in a training set. Because of the local laws of America, they are allowed. Can you expand on this topic?
So at the beginning, as I said, I didn't explain it more. When we started to use Azure OpenAI, it's just an in-house platform where the content doesn't go anywhere. So it's the only tool that our journalists can use. They can't use whatever tool. It's prohibited in the editorial guidelines that you don't put our content to any outsourced tool. But we are using the closed ecosystem, and it doesn't go there anywhere.
You're saying you're running Azure in your own local servers?
It's a closed. It's a closed ecosystem. Yeah.
We are doing the same with Copilot.
Yes, and Copilot also. It's an in-house where you can where our documents are, but it doesn't go anywhere there. And we are really strict on that. But of course, we are at the moment, we have to start thinking what is the future platform and what will be used. And in the bigger companies, they have a list of tools which can be used, etc. But yeah, so there's still a lot to think about in the future. But for now, we don't put our content to anywhere outsourced, outside.
We have a question here.
What is the feedback you told about changing male and female voices with AI? And recently there was a journalistic prize, what was won by radio station, I don't remember anymore.
Power in Finland.
Yes,
Yeah.
and there was lots of critics from the journalists and quite heavy critics. So what is the feedback from audience?
At least we are going, like it's good enough because you get also used to it. It's just short, like news bulletins every hour. So it's like couple minutes in the air. So at least for now, it's good.
So the question was about Aino and Aino, right? Yeah, okay. Was that the same question?
Yes.
I think in general, the feedback from the audience is sort of more positive than negative.
Yeah.
Okay.
But of course, within the journalism, I would say it was not a good way to give them the journalism prize.
Yeah.
So it was a strange pick.
They emphasize that the radio should be from human to human,
Yes.
and they have now destroyed it all.
And I wouldn't listen to a radio channel which would be totally AI, but like
me neither.
for us, it's just the small slot.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We have another question here.
You've mentioned that AI will not entirely replace journalists, but what do you think are some specific jobs that AI will eventually create within, let's say, 5 years in the media industry?
Bad question.
I think also, of course, analyzing big data sets, it's more effective and quicker with AI, so you get more time to think different angles to the stories, but like this kind of work will be automated. And for our company, for example, as we are a local media company with small editorial desks, so it's also a question of life and death that we have to use AI in to make those processes the most efficient. But it's not like totally going to it will just change the job.
Yeah, I think even in the future, journalists are needed to sense making and like telling what this is all about, like researchers.
Yes,
as well.
AI has what it already there. I mean, it just kind of makes a new package, tailors it for you. But like journalists, they look at the current situation, they look forward, all the news. Does AI create news? No. I think there's always the human touch has to be there. And meeting people and being if you're a reporter, AI doesn't go there.
Like going to places, at least not
Maybe
yet.
more
Well, we
human
have
touch.
these small robots bringing groceries to people, but they are not doing interviews. So if you need to go to meet people or report somewhere, it has to be done by a human.
Thank you.
Yeah. Another question here.
Thank you. So my question is about quality and quantity. Quality, can you do with AI better journalism? way better? Maybe analytics can be improved. And another one, can you do same job with a less amount of people?
I think AI mainstreams a lot, like general. It also always like finds the mainstream and the generalized issues. So I think, at least for now, I think it's a good in processes. But I don't know in the future. We don't know how it makes. But at least for now, at the end, journalism, it's a craftsman job. So where in that process to use it?
So far, AI has not taken. It hasn't taken work away from journalists. It has brought more work to journalists.
Yes.
Because all the media companies are sort of figuring out what to do with AI, what kind of new products would we do with this one? Can we have radio station? We didn't have it before. Or can we have a chat robot about the celebration of Swedish national whatever? So far it hasn't done it. I hope it will take boring jobs away from journalists and helps us to make more quality journalism, but remains to be seen.
Yeah, we are talking about this time for investigative journalism, and it's kind of coming back also in Finland. There was a time that we didn't have any, and now we have a bit more. So maybe, hopefully, it goes that way. There's more quality, but let's see. It's also part of the business side thing that how. Let's hope it brings that.
And of course, always you have to think, what is the business value, what the AI will bring? And also the value for the customers. If they don't like to hear and read those kind of articles, then we should do something else with AI then.
There's a question in the back there. Yeah.
Hello. As we are in a university, my question is about Finnish universities. Do you think that Finnish universities keep up with the pace of your companies when they educate the youth who come to your companies to work? Or do you have to do in-house training for them? Or how is the situation in Finland?
Good question.
I think we have to train a lot the young ones which come to the editorial departments to know how to do the practical.
They come from
job.
which universities? Tampere
and Jyväskylä.
Helsinki.
And LUT has the good business side. For example, from the media management side, it's really good research. But when you think, of course, the younger ones are really
journalists.
But when you think about journalists, of course, the younger ones, they are really fluid in social media and they do different formats. But still, we have to do a lot of education in practice, I think. What do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree. They are not doing the job for us. We need to do lots of training, and it's not only the university's fault. It's also that the generations are getting smaller, and sort of you get less people to study journalism, at least less very qualified people.
Yeah.
So, and I have heard that, for example, in university you need to talk to young people. How you need to give them means to, for example, call to an interview, because they are afraid of calling by phone. So, like the generations are different, and there are lots of reasons for that. It's not just about the education. It's not just about the generations who are different, but we need to do lots of training.
Yeah, it was the old time too. I went to Tampere, and then I was first in YLE longer than in academia, and I think you learn it by doing.
Yeah,
But you got some kind of basic,
Yeah, of
hopefully,
course,
idea
yeah.
about the society and
Yeah.
so forth.
But the thing is that industry and media companies and what we do is changing all the time. So nobody can have all the
Yes.
all the
Yeah.
education for that. So even though I would like to be trained all the time.
Yeah. Education should give you the tools to
Yes.
be able to learn,
Yes.
to understand information you get and to be able to choose the ones that are needed and develop your skills and the desire to do that.
How is it in Estonia? Do you have any insights in that?
No, I don't give a microphone to
Okay.
media industry. Of course.
I think we are over time already.
Yes, it's actually I'm really happy to hear that we have the same kind of problems. But we have one question more here coming in.
Hi again. I wanted to ask about this AI radio, because this I see that is a product that come out from this transformation. And are you doing in English or in Finnish? And how is the flow with the radio? Because I see it's quite challenging. A lot of now new models of AI for text to voice are appearing, and new conversations that are like new ones that are available to do conversational of two people. But are you just reading the news, or are you making also flows of discussion with this AI radio? I mean, I see that it has a lot of future. And how is the reception of the audience of that? Thank you. Maybe so long.
The radio news you asked about. It's just news bulletins, text, written by the editors, which are like formatted to the AI spoken audio file. Did you ask that?
Well, I was thinking about more like, is it a voice cloning of someone journalist? Is it in Finnish? Is it in English?
No, it's in Finnish language, of course, because we have Finnish language radio station. So Aino and Eino, they are speaking Finnish.
And it doesn't have dialogue yet.
No. It's just like at the normal situation, the editor would be reading the news bulletins, but now it's Aino or Eino.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know. Was it cloned from some voice or I don't know.
If
Sorry.
I remember correctly, it wasn't cloned.
No.
Yeah.
So I see a big red -6 now turning 7 minutes over. So, but I think it was worth it, right? So thank you so much for coming
Thank you so
here
much.
from
Yes.
Finland and for sharing everything.
Thank you.
And I see Andres coming with big black
thank you
bags.
so much. Thank you. That was great. Thank you.
And thank you so much for the audience for all your questions.
Wow.
Yeah, good question.
It was very interesting.
Thank you.
I hope also for you.
Kiitos.
Thank you.
Kiitos.
Mahtavaa.
Aitäh.